Hi everyone, Dr. Remy from Pain Free and Fit. Today, a great video for those of you with degenerative disc disease, herniated discs, and bulging discs, as well as retrolisthesis in the lower back. We're going to be discussing the anterior pelvic tilt in the supine position using a dumbbell. Hope you enjoy. So if you've seen any of the videos on our channel about degenerative discs, herniated discs, bulging discs, and retrolisthesis, low back pain, and self-management skills and rehabilitative exercises to help with these problems, you know that one of the things very common to all of these is the idea of pelvic tilting. Typically, not all the time, but most people with disc problems as well as retrolisthesis have pain with flexion, bending forward, sinking down at the waist. The curve of the lordosis of the lower back becomes decreased as the chest comes down or as the tail tucks under. When that curve or lordosis decreases, it applies more compression towards the front of the spine, which is where the discs are, many times aggravating herniations, bulges, and degenerative disc disease in the lower back, lumbar levels L1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and S1. And retrolisthesis, where the vertebra has slid backwards, is typically aggravated when we flex forward. As that spinal curve decreases, the mechanical pressures inside allow that vertebra that slipped back to slip back more. It wants to slip back more. It's not mechanically favorable, and thus many times aggravates lower back pain. So when designing a unique exercise program that's tailored for people with retrolisthesis, with disc problems in the lower back, many times a part of that is learning how to anterior pelvic tilt and strengthening the ability to anterior pelvic tilt, meaning how to raise the tailbone and lower the pubic bone as the pelvis rolls on the hip joints forward. And if you notice when you do that in the seated or standing position, as you roll your tailbone up, pubic bone down, you'll feel the arch of your lower back start to increase. Now, learning how much of an arch is helpful for you is all based on analysis. In fact, knowing that this exercise is either good for you or bad for you is based on analysis also. If you haven't yet done so, go to the painfreeandfit.com website. We have a free body analysis there. You can check out what your postural problems are, movement pattern tendencies, what your spinal stability issues are that are unique for your body, and all your muscle asymmetries, weaknesses, and overstrengths that are contributing to mechanical stress in your lower back and aggravating disc or retrolisthesis pain. For the purposes of this video, though, we're going to be talking about just going through a pelvic tilting range of motion to determine a safe range that you can move in without aggravating yourself. And again, you can do that in any position, lying face up, sitting, standing, and that can change in each of those positions, so I suggest you recheck the range for each position that you're going to exercise or move in. But basically, you're going to try to raise your tailbone up or increase the arch of your back until you feel a little tightness or a little discomfort in the back. That would be the limit of one range. Just shy of that is where you want to move. You don't want to move into that feeling of tightness, pulling, or pain. And then conversely, going the other way, flattening the back by pulling the pubic bone up, tucking the tail under, and decreasing the arch of your back. You're going to go until you feel a little discomfort, a little pulling, a little pain. That's the other end of the range, the other spectrum, the other side of it. You don't want to go that far. So you want to work within movement between those two extremes. That's pain-free. That's full of comfort and not any type of discomfort. This being said, let's talk about a great simple exercise you can do at home with a dumbbell to increase that anterior pelvic tilting ability and increase the endurance and strength of it using a dumbbell. In the face-up position, lying on an exercise bench or the floor, if we had the legs straight, you can practice simply tilting the tailbone up towards your mid-back and lowering your pubic bone down. That's going to increase the arch of your lower back. And you can monitor that by putting a hand under your lower back. As you drop your pubic bone down and raise your tailbone, you'll feel your lower back start to arch up. You'll notice that there's only a certain range of motion when you do that. However, when you bend your legs, which naturally places the spine into a posterior pelvic tilt position, flattening the back, you'll have more of a range now to drop that pubic bone down, and you'll find that there's a greater range of motion that you can work in. So we're going to use this against resistance of a dumbbell to strengthen that ability. There's nothing wrong at the beginning of using no dumbbell at all and just using body weight to build up repetitions and endurance time, which is very important for the spinal extensors. But after a while that you've been doing that, you want a little extra resistance. So you take a dumbbell, light it first, and gradually you build it up as time goes on. And you'll notice if the legs are straight, you put the center of the dumbbell about 1 inch below your belly button. That typically is going to align at just about over what's known as the ASIS bones, the anterior superior iliac spines, which are those front side bones on your pelvis. As the dumbbell sits above those bones, you're going to now feel resistance as you anterior pelvic tilt. Now, with the legs straight, it's going to be a very short range of motion. But as the knees bend, now because the back tends to flatten and the lordosis or curve is decreased, you have a greater starting position. Again, you have to use your range that's comfortable. And that greater starting position backwards in posterior pelvic tilt allows a greater range of motion as you do the exercise, as you rock your pubic bone down and your tailbone up towards your shoulder blades. And now you'll notice the dumbbell is increasing the resistance to this exercise, making it tougher for the spinal extensors in the back to contract, which, if it's tougher, over time, that's going to strengthen those spinal extensors. The multifidus, the erector spinae, the latissimus, they're all participating in this exercise, helping to increase the extension strength, which over time is going to increase your ability to hold your spine in more of an extended position, meaning keep more of an arch, so that when you move, when you play sports, when you're lifting, when you're working out, when you're moving throughout the day, you have more of an increased arch, decreasing the pressure on the disc, helping to hold that retrolisthesis segment in a more neutral position and preventing the tendency for it to slide backwards or compressing degenerative herniated and bulging discs. Plug this one into your routine. It's a great exercise to increase that extension strength, along with a plethora of other exercises designed to target your unique spinal stability issues and help with your chronic low back pain. If you've liked this video on retrolisthesis, degenerative disc, herniated disc, and bulging discs in the lower back, please feel free to subscribe to our channel. We've got a lot of great videos out there to help you. Questions or comments, write in as always. I'll do my best to help you. And remember, if you're looking for a great program to figure out how do I do an analysis on my back pain, what are my mechanical, posture, and movement issues, how do I address them with rehabilitative exercises and custom fit a tailored exercise program step by step to bring me back into fitness and get me out of pain so I can do things without hurting myself, check out our fast track programs at painfreeandfit.com. We have both a retrolisthesis fast track program and we have a degenerative disc fast track program, which applies for degenerative herniated and bulging discs. I hope this video on retrolisthesis, degenerative discs, and herniated and bulging discs in the lower back helps you with your chronic lower back pain.